What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have all the people in this country unite under the fact no racism, no discrimination, no people that make billions when other people are suffering.
For that people to have honest conversations, to care about each other, and to have equal rights.
My American dream is an America where we fully engage the ideals of freedom, liberty, and justice for all people, not based on the color of your skin tone, your access to money and resources, your ability to pay your way through a legal system or a litigious process to obtain something like health care.
I hope America will be one day like Martin Luther King tried so hard for equality. We are all the same. We are all the same. There's no race, there is no nationality, nothing. We are created by God and we are all the same, and that's what we have to be in this country.
My American dream is that this truly does become a place where we can all coexist and have liberty and justice for all.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It's Brad Show Live. My name is Brad Bernstein. I am live and alive, and today is July 20th, 2020, and I am joined, as always, most of the time, as long as we don't have technical difficulties. Everybody looks properly in line here today. I don't know why, but I'm feeling confident about our technology. Julian, the TriCaster guy, looked extra confident today, so I think we're going to be okay. Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, and Vanessa, Ness-quick, Contreras. How are you guys doing? How was your weekends?
Great. I had a good weekend.
You did?
I was in Brooklyn again, Brad.
Yeah? In Brooklyn again?
Yeah.
What'd you do in Brooklyn?
I just got to some of my girlfriends in quarantine. We wrapped up and... Oh, no.
What happened?
I'm getting like every other word from Vanessa. Just when I said our technology was going to be, right? Just when I thought our technology was going to be perfect today. Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, how are you today?
I am actually good. A little. I guess I have to talk about it, but everybody was worried about me because I did feel a little sick last week. So Tuesday I had a fever. Was coughing, so then I went and got tested on Thursday. We did not have a show on Friday, I believe.
We did not.
We did not. And Saturday, I got my results, and I tested positive for COVID-19.
Oh my gosh, you okay?
I'm okay. It's a very mild case. I only had a fever for like the first 2 days. Was coughing for the first 2 days. If anything, it was just like shivers at night. It was really like a regular cold. I've had colds that was worse than this, honestly.
How do you feel right now?
I feel fine. Like I'll sweat a lot. I've been drinking a lot of fluids, not eating meat, been like eating soup and fruits and nuts and vitamin C's and vitamin D3s. I mean, I think I killed it off. Like, it's really just phlegm inside my chest that I do feel.
You feel something still, though?
Yeah, in my chest, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Well, you have to still be careful until you feel 100% because you don't want to, go overboard and then make yourself worse. Now, I'm glad that you got it mildly. I do remember, Yonathan, I should have asked Jill to play this back, but I remember when, Vanessa, I don't know if you remember, hopefully your mic is fixed.
I remember, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, now Vanessa has it. I should have asked Jilly, I just thought of it just now, but I remember right before we went on our quarantine back in March, Yo-Yo was saying, Black people don't get it, and he was going like this, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Remember? You were wiping it off like it bounced off of you, right?
You know what? I'm so happy that I said that because my case, thanks to God, is very mild. So I feel like it's because of my good black skin, my melanin is keeping me.
It's the melanin. That's the antibody.
I have to tell you that it's just absolutely not true, but you could believe it if you want. You know,
I do.
there's actually a lot of African Americans who got it and got sick, and predominantly they're actually a majority. There's a lot of African Americans who have actually, as a percentage, there's a greater death amongst African Americans and Latinos than there are white people, and it has nothing to do with actually the color of your skin. You know, as we joke around, it's actually a serious thing.
Obviously, it was a joke.
Yeah. It's obviously, you know, it's a combination of access to medical care and underlying health conditions that just went undiagnosed for years. Plus, a lot of African Americans and Latinos, they live in closer proximity to one another, you know, because you have multiple generations living in a household, which also, you know, one person brings it in and it spreads throughout the house. So, I mean, there's probably other reasons too, both social and economic.
Those are all relevant.
Yeah, both social and economic that I probably don't even know, but I know those for sure are some of the reasons. So, you know, we do joke around. I just remember, you know, you saying, it's not going to happen to me. And of course, you jinxed yourself. I'm very happy, of course, that you're okay. So, you know, God forbid you were actually ill. I wouldn't joke around about it with you, but I'm glad that you have a mild.
I was nervous when I found out that it was positive. I was like, wait, I don't understand this. Like, I had to send it to some people because I had missed the call from the nurse. And I was like, okay, it says positive, but like, I mean, I don't really feel that sick, but I feel sick, you know? And is this what it means? I asked like my nurse friends, they were like, yeah, you definitely says it's positive. Now, I was like, damn.
Now, I just want to clear one other thing up for those who follow Yo-Yo on Instagram, because I know you have 30, 40,000 followers, whatever it is. You know,
let them know.
The stories that you were posting were not in real time, I assume.
No,
so
not at all.
You were not. So even though you were already diagnosed on Friday, those stories that you were posting happened well before you knew that you were sick and diagnosed. Right.
Absolutely. I wouldn't play around like that with my life nor with other people's lives. So. But that's what you do as a social media influencer. Right. You have to constantly post, and I'm not going to post myself sick at home.
Right. Well, that's for sure. You know, like I'm sweating.
Right.
And Vanessa, I believe your microphone's all fixed now, so tell me about your time in Brooklyn before we say hello to the crew.
I mean, I was just with my squad this weekend, just a few of my girls, practicing social distancing. Of course, it was so hot this weekend in New York. So I wish we would have done a beach day over Brooklyn Bridge Park, but it was still a good time.
Yeah, I don't even know how you were able to go out. I want you to know on Sunday, I worked on Saturday, and I went out for dinner Saturday night. But on Sunday, I had nothing to do, and I said, you know what, I was going to walk around the park, maybe walk around the city, find something to do. It was so hot. I walked 2 blocks, and you know what I said? Uncle Brad's watching Netflix today. Right back to my apartment. It was just too hot to walk outside. Let me say hello to the squad, though. Jasmine Caballero, good evening. Trago Goddess, squad up, everybody. Tamika Nelson, Jasmine Caballero, Violet Blackwood, and Deion Watson, Jennifer Garza, squad up. Christy Kinsali, squad up. Rahandra BSR, squad up. Denisha Joseph, Danish Danny. I love Danish Danny. I just love the name Danish Danny. And I think we determined it's because they like Danish, right? It has nothing to do with from Denmark, if my recollection is correct. On YouTube, DZ Info. Karen McCarthy, squad up. Charlotte Muzzo, squad up. Tracy Lacey, how are you? Jean Love, DJ Killabuzz is in the house, and Tia Prasad. So sorry to hear, Yo-Yo, you're sick, but stay strong. Bicep curl, and you could beat it. Thumbs up. So Tia Prasad, Yo-Yo, has full confidence in your ability to fight off the coronavirus. And with that, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready for some schmoozing?
Absolutely. All right, guys. Everybody on Facebook, you already know, in order to become a VIP member, all you have to do is join the VIP page. It is the Brad Squad page on Facebook. It's a fan page, all right? So if you guys join this, make sure you let everybody know, okay? The squad, original squad members, I need you guys to let everybody know in the comments that it is worth it, all right? So go to Brad Squad on Facebook. It's the fan page, and click join, and we will actually we will access your or grant your access, okay? And what you will get with that is a lot of incentives. You will give you certain things that we won't post on YouTube or on the Facebook page, but only on this fan page. And also the biggest thing, the first 5 people that put in their questions in the comment section, you will get your first 5 questions answered, all right? That is guaranteed before anybody in social media. So make sure you guys join that page. Now for Facebook, we need everybody to share, all right? We got to get this out. This is Monday. It's the beginning of the week. This is the perfect time to share. Let everybody know that we are here 5 days a week, usually around 5:30, 6-ish. But just let everybody know once you share this, let them know about the show. Don't just share it and just leave it alone on your page. Let people know that this is a show to help people. Let them know if anybody knows anybody that might need help or needs help themselves, to come in and watch the show and also become a Brad Squad member as well. All right, now put in all of your questions in the comment section. We love the interaction. I love all the get wells that you guys have given me. I honestly feel like, you know, it's all because of you guys that I have been very well. All the prayers I've gotten, all of that. So thank you so much. So let's interact. Let's talk to each other. Like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, whatever emotion you guys are feeling. Make sure you guys show that love on the video. And now, Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
Okay, friends, if you haven't already, on YouTube, you should be subscribed to our channel. So turn the red button, okay? And make sure that you have the notification bell so that you know when Brad Show Live is on every day, Monday through Friday. Also very important to share on YouTube. You can share this in a text, slide into somebody's DM, share it to other followers on YouTube. But it's so important you guys to share it out and make sure that you share people in your community. Just like you have different questions for immigration, we can also have other people that have those same questions. So if you share right now with them and make sure that they have as well, they'll be a part of our Brad Squad that you guys know is a community that always gaining so much value and knowledge on immigration and current statuses. If you have not already on Instagram, you should be following us as well at Brad Show Live. So follow us there. Make sure you find the Fancy Brad, where we are giving away a free consultation with Brad that is valued at $200, and you can enter to win this, where we pull out our winner every Wednesday, and we will choose a winner on Brad Show Live. All you need to do is like the post, comment, tag 5, and do that over again. Enter your name multiple times into our vault, and we will choose one winner for $200 consultation with Brad. Alrighty, team, it's time to get to some news.
All right, first of all, Vanessa, you got to fix your mic, but I have some good news for everybody. A federal court in Maryland ruled on Friday that the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, President Trump has to now accept new applications. Up until the last 3 years, the only people who were able to file a DACA were people who were renewing it, people who are already in the program from President Obama's presidency. Now people who miss that opportunity, for example, I spoke to a young lady today who was TPS from Haiti. TPS is ending. I said, you're eligible for DACA. Just switch it over to DACA. I spoke to another client last week who just never bothered doing it, is now going to do it. So for those who missed DACA because of the Supreme Court ruling, and now because of a federal court in Maryland that ruled on Friday saying that USCIS has to accept these applications, hopefully, I just got a bug in my face. Where did a bug come from? Hopefully, immigration will start accepting these applications very, very soon. The Migration Policy Institute, a nonpartisan think tank, estimates an additional 66,000 people would still qualify for DACA. Meanwhile, Yonathan and Vanessa, two towering figures of the American civil rights movement, they died on Friday. John Lewis died at the age of 80 after a battle with cancer, and Reverend Cordy Tyndall Vivian died at age 95 of natural causes. Now, John Lewis ended up being a congressman for years and years and years from Georgia. He was actually the youngest person. I didn't know this until recently, but at 23, John Lewis was the youngest speaker. Excuse me, was the youngest speaker at the 1963 March on Washington, where Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Now, at 25, Lewis also helped lead a march for voting rights on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, where he and other marchers were met by heavily armed state and local police who attacked them. I'm getting attacked by bugs here, who attacked them with clubs, fracturing Lewis's skull. I guess the bugs are going after me because the lights are on me. So I think I actually just swallowed a bug, which is why I was coughing. But maybe I'll swallow all the bugs as we go along, and then I'll get rid of the bug problem. But right now, I am literally getting attacked by bugs. Only on Brad Show Live, these things happen live.
Because you're so sweet, Brad.
I don't even know where these bugs came from, but I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes somewhere. Somebody must have left the window open or something. So, any event, by the way, it was that incident in Selma when the marchers were crossing over the bridge and they were attacked by the police who were waiting for them on the other side. It was that, singular incident that President Johnson had said that caused Congress to pass the civil rights legislation. That it was that singular incident. Before that, he didn't know if he was going to have the votes for the Civil Rights Act. And it was only that incident several weeks later that Congress convened, and the nation was so upset about what happened at that moment, at that bridge, that caused congressmen who were otherwise not going to vote for the Civil Rights Act to actually vote for it. Kind of reminds me of what happened with George Floyd in a way, that there is a singular moment that tips everybody to change their minds. I don't know what you guys think about all this. It's kind of, you don't want to say history repeats itself because it's completely different, but in a way, history rhymes with itself, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see this with everything, everything that's been happening. I like that you said it doesn't repeat itself, because it's definitely different. We actually have rights, somewhat, but yeah, it definitely rhymes with itself, because this is literally stuff that we've seen in the history books. So you're right.
I think that as a nation, we're always going to come through different situations, and it's always going to depend on us and on the evolution of times for us to see how we'll manage it. But it's definitely still an issue that will be ongoing, and like we say all the time, it's just going to be a part of us to make the difference.
Now, what's also was great to hear that on Friday, was that the Pentagon, the U.S. military, all the branches of the U.S. military have now banned the Confederate flag from any part of a military base, except if it is on a license plate or part of an art installation. Otherwise, the Confederate flag is now outright banned by the military. And, the Confederate flag is a remnant of slavery and plantation days. And I was finally glad to see that it is now banned from being displayed anywhere on any military base or on any military vehicle. So I was happy to see that too, which is actually interesting because that's not, by the way, Donald Trump didn't mandate that. That was really the generals who mandated that. And it's smart, even if you say, what was the rationale behind doing it? Why would they do it? You can argue, well, they see the sign of the times. Why didn't they do it in the past? But also, I don't know what the percentage is, but I got to believe that 30 to 40% of our enlisted men in the U.S. military, if not more, are either African Americans or Latino. So you have a fighting force, that doesn't want to see that flag. So it's probably not good for morale either. I don't know what you guys think.
No, absolutely. That's history of the Army as well. Like when it was so many Black people that were fighting for the country, and they were put on the front lines. So basically shields. So it's wild to me that it's 2020 and this is when we're actually getting rid of the Confederate flags from the Army. It's crazy to me.
It should have been 100 years
more
ago.
of a topic.
Huh?
That it's becoming more of a conversation now. I feel like we're identifying what it initially meant, who it meant something to, and whether that identifies with the future of our nation and all the things that we want to evolve and revolutionize. So it's come just on time.
It's amazing to me that there's even a discussion about it. It just shouldn't be done, right? There's really no other side to it the way I see it.
No.
I don't know if you can see another side to be like, well, why should the Confederate flag was run by an army that wanted to secede from the United States and maintain slavery and plantation system. That's what that represents.
Which is why it's wild to me that it's still out here.
Right. Now, your family wasn't here in America. My family wasn't here in America during slavery time. Your family wasn't. And Vanessa, I assume you were in the Dominican Republic, your family, right?
All of us.
Yeah. Now, the number one rated book in the United States this week was Mary Trump, Donald Trump's niece, wrote a tell-all book, Too Much and Never Enough, How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man. Obviously, she's talking about her uncle, Donald Trump. Now, she went head-to-head on television Friday night against the Pumpkin. She was on MSNBC. The Pumpkin was on Fox News. And Donald Trump, he's all about TV ratings. Well, Friday night, Mary, the niece, beat Donald Trump. 5.23 million people watched Mary to 5.11 million people watched Donald Trump. So during her appearance on the broadcast, she said that she believed Trump's reelection would mark the end of America. She punctuated her tweet with hashtag seldom seen, a reference to Trump's attack against her from earlier Friday. He had written, Mary Trump, a seldom seen niece who knows little about me, says untruthful things about my wonderful parents who couldn't stand her and me and violated her NDA. On MSNBC, Mary Trump confirmed that Trump drops the N-word multiple times and hurls anti-Semitic slurs in the presence of his family, which, by the way, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his daughter are both Jewish. So, who knows? What do you guys think? I believe it. What do you think? You believe it? You believe the things she said? He cheated on his SATs.
Absolutely.
He says anti-Semitic comments. He says the N-word.
Everything, every single one of that, I believe. There's no question about it.
Now, why do you think that this is the time that she decided to launch this?
Well, because she wants to sell books. Okay.
Right. This is the time. This is the time to come out and do that.
Just to get some publicity, but I wouldn't be surprised at all.
She wants.
We already have our own.
She wants to sell books, and she claims, because people said, "Well, why didn't you write this book earlier?" She says, "Well, nobody would have." She says nobody would have believed her earlier, and she wants to save America before the next election. Now, she has a beef with Donald Trump because she is the daughter of Donald's oldest brother. There's three brothers. There was the oldest brother who was an alcoholic, and he died at an early age. And then there's Donald, who's the middle brother, and Robert, who's the younger brother. And Fred, who was the father, the matriarch of the family, left the business to Donald, maybe a little bit to Robert. They say Donald was the smarter of the three, so God knows. But the oldest brother was an alcoholic and died at a young age, and that was Mary's father. And she sued Donald for a piece of the Trump fortune, and the family had a falling out over that lawsuit 20, 30 years ago. So her and Donald don't talk to begin with. But she knows, what's up with that Trump family. She's been to the family functions. She's been around Donald up until... she's been to a bunch of Thanksgivings, exactly, and Christmas dinners, exactly. So she knows up until about, 20 plus years ago, whenever the eldest brother died. So, I mean, they're both in their, I guess, middle ages. Donald's 70, so she knew Donald at least certainly for the first half of his life.
Yeah. I also feel that even with him being president now, there's much more reason to speak up on the topics, just because we already had so many different assumptions of Donald Trump's true colors. But as we see him navigate through his presidency, everything that's speaking up has a lot more relevance, and the audience is seeing him as much more than just a tycoon businessman. And if this is someone that's leading a nation, these are not the kind of things that we want from our leader, to know that this is behind the scenes.
Mm. Now we just got to get quickly into coronavirus statistics. More than 608,000 people have died. Thank God Yo-Yo will be okay. Over 8.2 million people have recovered worldwide. Today marks the 6-month anniversary. 6-month anniversary of the first laboratory confirmed case of COVID-19 in the United States. The case was confirmed in Washington State on January 20th, 2020. 6 months ago, our world turned upside down to the day. It seems like 6 years ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
We're gonna have in about a minute or two a new segment called Fuzzy Mondays. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. But kind of reminds me of dog years. When they say, for every human year is 7 years of dog years. I feel like this exactly I feel like these are dog years these years, right? Like I've lived 7 years.
Every month of COVID.
Yes, it's like, every month of COVID is like one full year. It's like dog years, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, when you put it that way.
Well, the only good news for us here in New York is that Dr. Anthony Fauci has said that New York has done COVID correctly. Let's watch what he says.
We've got to get the tests in the right place at the right time. We've done it in New York. New York got hit worse than any place in the world, and they did it correctly by doing the things that you're talking about.
So he said that if New York is able to do it, the rest of the United States is able to do it if they follow along. Now, the one thing that New York didn't get right, that Cuomo has faced criticism over, a report that found a directive that sent thousands of recovering coronavirus patients back to nursing homes, which this report alleges led to some of the deadliest outbreaks in nursing homes. However, many people and many other reports say it was not a significant factor in the death of elderly people. The answer is I don't know the answer. People are saying two different things. But we do know that New York, the coronavirus cases in New York are very, very low. New York, as a matter of fact, has even entered into phase 4, whatever that means. But in phase 4, I'll tell you what it means because it's on my card here. Some cultural venues like zoos and botanical gardens can open for outdoor activities. Professional sports can resume without fans. Indoor dining and bars are still not permitted. Today, Cuomo addressed reports of crowding and mask violations at Queens bars and restaurants over this past weekend. He said, I'm telling you, it has to stop. I'm telling you in plain New York speak, it's stupid, it's stupid. Now, Cuomo said that he has to make a decision on schools very, very soon. So, Yo-Yo, do you have any idea where you caught coronavirus? Were you out in a bar, you think? Do you think it was from being around?
No, I haven't gone to a bar. I've been going to, physical therapy. I try not to take the Uber, so I was riding the Revels. And I did slip up on washing my hands as thoroughly as I used to when this first came out. So it was probably something like that.
But you don't have a friend who has it, who gave it to you. So you just got it from walking about.
Yeah, I was with the same two of my best friends, and they're essential workers. They always get tested. So they were the first people that I had to actually tell. But no, it wasn't from them. It was probably literally from a surface, so touching something and not washing my hands properly.
Vanessa, do you know of any friends or family who got sick?
Yeah, I do. Not too many. I had one of my good friends. She was working in the school system, and I'm not too sure where she caught it, but I haven't seen that friend all quarantine.
Well, we got to do something to lighten us, because we said, for every month of COVID is 7 years of human life. All right. So what better way to celebrate that than we're having a new segment now, guys. It's called Fuzzy Monday. It's Fuzzy Monday. What do you think Fuzzy Monday is? So,
the first time I heard it, I thought we were going to get warm-hearted news that's just going to make us want to...
Yes, it's warm-hearted news.
But now it might be some animal news.
It's animal news. Now, it's warm-hearted animal news because it's Fuzzy Monday. Everybody always loves animals. So a cat in the United Kingdom has been lying in the road with its eyes closed, pretending to be dead for attention. This is a true story. Lolly, the cat's owner, has been forced to post notes to her neighbors reassuring them they haven't killed the cat. Lolly likes to lie down motionless in the road with his eyes closed and tongue hanging out, tricking drivers into thinking he has died. Then the drivers come over. They're like, oh my God, there's a dead cat. Only for Lolly to jump up and ask for kisses. It's only a prank. Would you believe 14-year-old Lolly can do this prank?
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? The note posted around the neighborhood includes a picture of Lolly the cat that reads, "Hi, my name is Lolly. My favorite thing is people and pretending I'm dead at the side of the road. I'm also quite old and ignorant. Please don't worry about me. All the local businesses and vets know my owners. If you're really worried, call my mom. I have also been known to get into vehicles and ride away."
That's hilarious.
I think that's funny. Meanwhile, while we're in the middle of a heat wave, this group of golden retrievers, they have figured out a way to stay cool. Let's watch this. The video was filmed by a Golden Friend Forever Kennel Spa in Brazil. We have the video. There it goes.
Whoa.
mood. That was me yesterday in Brooklyn.
That was you yesterday?
That's all I wanted to do.
I was the last dog. If you could roll that one more time. I was the last dog who ran right to the edge and said, nah, I'm not going to go.
Right.
That's
right.
Wait. I'll tell you where I am. I'll tell you where I am. There I am. And then I'm just kind of watching everybody. There I am. That's that guy. And then I stop. Now, according to their website, the Golden Retriever spa includes lots of green spaces and fresh air and a pool with areas of sun and shade. Meanwhile, another Golden Retriever has broken an age record. We know one Golden who deserves some time at this spa. A Golden Retriever in Tennessee just became the oldest of its breed known to date. It is 20 years old. Owner Jennifer Hettershed said August or Augie, who was adopted when she was 14 from the Golden Retriever Rescue of Southern Nevada after being rehomed twice. According to pedigree.com, a 20-year-old Golden Retriever is equivalent to 145 years old. A Uncle Brad who lives through coronavirus for 1 year is equivalent to 160 years old. But that is a 145-year-old Golden Retriever. And finally, four Fuzzy Monday visitors at the Bronx Zoo disappeared this spring during the pandemic, but now zoo staffers return preparing for reopening. Zoo director Jim Bereny told Newsday in a podcast interview Friday that in particular the bears, the giraffes, the monkeys, they've all realized humans have largely been absent. So as the zoo staff tended to the animals during the city's pause, Bereny said, we find that the animals would actually stop what they're doing and look at us because all of a sudden it was novel to have somebody watching them. The zoo's gorillas in particular have missed humans and have actually changed their behavior since the pandemic shut down. I mean, you could think about it. You can imagine that they're used to like people staring at them all day and then like, wait, where did all the people go? It's like
and then all of a sudden they come.
Yeah, like all of a sudden like Scooby-Doo, like I can't do Scooby-Doo, but you know what I'm saying. Now, this is the first time in the last 20 years that we've actually seen the gorillas spend time way in the back of the exhibit because there's no public there to interest them. So the gorillas actually get interested in the humans coming to see them as well.
Oh.
And that is our Fuzzy Monday, guys. We got to get into some immigration questions. We have one person on hold right now. I'm not sure what happened on Facebook, if we have a problem on Facebook or not. But I see our viewers went down dramatically. I wonder if Facebook is giving us a problem right now. But hopefully it's not. But we only have one person on hold. I think we have a problem on Facebook, but we don't have a problem on YouTube. So why don't you tell everybody, by the way, before we get to sharing, because maybe we can't share on Facebook, I'm not exactly sure.
I don't.
But we can certainly call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. You can get your immigration questions answered now. And while you're doing that, let's see what happened on Facebook.
Yeah, we're not on Facebook right now. I don't think I see us.
I see us.
You see us?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, if we're up on Facebook, then everybody, now is the time to start your watch parties. All right? Start your watch parties. All you have to do is click share. I'm going to show you with this little finger. It's going to show you, just click on share. You'll see start or host a watch party, then start. And then it will take the video from our page to your page. It is fun. It is a great way to get everybody on your friends list to get a ding notification to find out that the best show ever is on right now. So we'll start your watch party. Click share, host a watch party, and start. It's that easy. Also put in all your questions right now in the comments section because we're going to be doing our social media check-in after this segment. All right, Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
On YouTube, friends, exactly when you want to share, you guys. So if you haven't already, you should already subscribe to our channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get a notification right when we go live Monday through Thursday. Make sure that we get those thumbs up going. I'm a little disappointed in our squad and our thumbs up on YouTube, friends. 48 thumbs up. We have 135 people watching. Come on, we can do so much better than that, guys. Brad is going to answering your immigration questions, and we want to make sure that we keep the engagement present. This is the time you've been waiting for. Brad takes the time to listen to you guys' questions and answer them. You never know who has the same question or is in a very similar situation. And by you just sharing the video, send it in a text, slide into someone's direct message, let them know that we're on it, that Brad is answering questions. And we are also on Instagram, so make sure that you follow there at Brad Show Live, where we are actually giving away a one-on-one consultation with Brad. It is normally valued at $200, and we are giving it away for free. It is very simple, guys. All you need to do is follow us on Brad Show Live Instagram. Make sure that you like the Dancing Brad. Tag 5 friends in the comments. Tag 5 more friends. All the sharing ends up being just an incentive for you guys, and you get so much more for just a great viewer, a loyal viewer, and just sharing this show the same way it's helped so many guys. We want to continue to reach the masses, and we need your help in order to do that. I see those thumbs up going up little by little, Brad. How are we looking on calls? I think the squad might be ready to hear some of your great knowledge, but I'm going to need a little bit more love, squad.
All right, so why don't we start something we like to call, you got an immigration question, I'm going to answer it. Right now, we only have one person on hold. We're not on Facebook. You know what we can do, Jilly, on Facebook as a suggestion is stop the stream and start a new stream and see if we can grab everybody at least for immigration questions. And then restart a new stream, and hopefully we can do that for immigration questions. There's no sense in running a stream on Facebook that nobody's watching, so I would suggest that we keep YouTube going and stop Facebook and then start a new stream and see maybe if we can get our viewers back. I don't know. Facebook has cut us off from our viewers. I don't know why Mark Zuckerberg would do such a thing to us, but he did. But we certainly are on YouTube, and we have lots and lots of open lines. So those who are watching on YouTube, you can call right now, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Ray in Austin, Texas. Ray.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
So long story short, my spouse is going to be here for 5 years as an LPR. I'm the U.S. citizen. About 2 years or so ago, right after he got an LPR, long story short, I had a mental breakdown. So it was affecting my family. I needed some time alone, and I ended up getting on benefits. Right now, I'm no longer on benefits. It's been about 2 years or so. But my spouse was never on that, was never a recipient, or was never in the household.
Did he get green card?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
This was after he got legalized.
Right.
I lost it.
Sure.
So I'm.
But you're okay now.
But
you're okay now, and I'm glad that you're. And I'm glad you're able to freely talk about it. You know, it's amazing that you can do that. So congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work on my mental health during this pandemic. But long story short, we want to apply for citizenship. We're together. We're great. Where everybody's good. But I saw an application. Have you received benefits or something similar to that? And I was like, well, crap, I did.
You received, but he didn't. And just answer the question as honestly and faithfully as you can, because you're the one who received the benefits. He didn't receive any benefits. And whether you got benefits or whether he got benefits or not has no bearing on him becoming a citizen. It's more of a bearing on him getting a green card, which he already has.
Yeah, he already has. So basically, when he's filling out the application, the applicant himself, that's going to be a no because he never received anything.
Correct. So the answer is no. The answer is no.
Okay, so my next question is probably a stupid question. I don't know if they would be like, well, why did you and your wife have marital issues or something like that? You know what I'm saying? But
How long has he had a green card?
About 5 years now.
Okay, so if he's had a green card for more than 5 years, your marital issues are not an issue for naturalization. He doesn't have
It would have to be the 3 years.
Right,
then
if it's
that
on
was-
3 years, then they have a right to ask about your marital issues. So
Okay,
if it's 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days, because you're allowed to file 90 days before your 5-year anniversary of your green card, let them check off on the naturalization form. I'm basing my naturalization on 5 years lawful permanent residence.
Okay, but I still submit, of course, our marriage, birth certificates, all that good stuff.
Of course.
And then, but other than that, it should be fine. I guess.
It sounds like you're going to be perfect.
Okay. Other than that, he just has normal traffic tickets, but they're all paid and all squared away.
Yes.
So that's all. That's all. Okay, I'm overthinking it. Thank you very much.
Great.
Appreciate it. So it shouldn't matter if he was never in households. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like when you apply, they ask if he's in or out. He was out because we were separated, having issues.
No.
So
no,
okay.
as long as, but you're back together now.
Right.
He doesn't have to prove a bona fide marriage. You know, the only concern is, was this a fraudulent marriage? Did you ever live together? I mean, and the answer is yes, and then you separated and got back together, and that happens to people all the time.
Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, it was after his LPR.
So then you're okay.
Yeah. Everything went crazy. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Sounds good.
All
Thanks.
right.
Bye-bye.
And by the way, guys, right now, you're very welcome and good luck. By the way, guys, you can call us right now because we have empty lines. It's 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. If not, only one call today. I don't know why. Here I am giving free advice, but we can try and wait for a minute or two. 1-800-529-5465. Perhaps there is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There he is with a sign. We just got back on Facebook now, so welcome back, Facebook. We have 300 and some odd, 250, 260, 270 people watching. It's going up every second. But you can call right now, 1-800-529-5465. Our phone lines are wide open. So if you call at this very moment, I promise you, you will get to speak to me. If not, I will yell out this telephone number for 45 more seconds. And should nobody call in the next 45 seconds, I will assume I have answered every immigration question known to mankind. There is nobody with any more immigration issues. And we'll get to the next stage of our show. We have a countdown, Julian, the TriCaster guy, to go to the next stage of our show. Give me a 45-second countdown, Julian, the TriCaster guy. Can we do that? No, we're not able to give a 45-second countdown. It's perfectly okay. Why don't we give a 30-second countdown? How about a 30-second count? Not a minute and 20. We're not going to give people that much time. We're going to give people, this is the speed round, guys. You have 30 seconds to call, starting now. Start the clock, Julian. You gave him an extra 1 second. 30 seconds to call, 1-800-529-5465. If you do not call within the next 30 seconds, what can I tell you? It's one of those crazy days today because we got knocked off of Facebook, YouTube, this tube, that tube. Yep. We're coming to the end. I guess we will not. Well, it's one of those days. The gremlin has nobody's answering the phones here either. I don't know. It's one of those days. And Honey Lime saying she's trying to call and no answer. That's very odd. Are you calling the right number, Honey? 1-800-529-5465. perhaps in all of this absolute disaster, Yonathan, who's suffering from coronavirus, Vanessa, who's suffering from the mic don't work today,
Sound issues,
our telephones that don't seem to work, Facebook that shut us off the air, YouTube, who the hell knows what's going on with YouTube?
What's
gonna be
going
resilient,
on?
Brad.
But at least, with all this going on, we all have our beautiful smiles.
We do.
Resilience, team,
Right?
persistence.
All right, why don't we go to answer some social media questions? Why don't we do that? Phone lines are closed for the day. I don't know what happened. We'll figure it all out.
All right, guys. Our first one comes from Akila saying, I was inadmissible at Chicago airport recently and got a ban for 5 years due to some mismatch of work documentation and working part-time in the U.S. on a B1, B2 visa. How can I re-enter the U.S. before 5 years? My fiance's mother is battling cancer and I want to be there for them.
You got to get married and then file 2 waivers. One for deportation and one for misrepresentation. It's not fiance, it's get married.
Next one comes from Roxana Marlin on Instagram. If my green card expires in October of 2020, is there a form I can file so I can continue working?
Your green card expires in 2020? Is this a
Yes,
2-year
if my
card or a
green
10-year
card
card?
expires in October of 2020, is there a form I can file so I can
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you have a 2-year or a 10-year. If it's a 2-year, you're going to file an I-751. If it's a 10-year, you're going to file an I-90. And then if it's a 10-year, why don't you just become a citizen? But either way, the answer is yes. I just don't know enough about your situation to tell you which forms to be filing to extend your green card.
All right, Amen 19 on IG saying, I'm married to a U.S. citizen and I'm in removal for overstaying on my tourist visa. I have a master hearing scheduled for February 22nd, and I want to know what is the best, fastest way for me to get a green card.
What does he have?
They overstay. They're in removal for overstaying the tourist visa.
What's the fastest
and
way?
And they have a master hearing scheduled for February 22nd.
What's the fastest way to get a green card? You're getting deported.
They're married to a U.S. citizen, though.
Okay, so then I don't know if he got married before or after he got put in deportation. So that depends. Also, I don't know what situation they're in with their deportation. But the answer is obviously your spouse is going to file for you. Which procedure to follow, you need to have a consultation. And then I can figure it out. By the way, I'm laughing to myself. You know, I was like, all right, well, Facebook, we know what happened there. Okay. The telephones is going to our night service instead of going to our show. So all these people were calling, but it was going to our night service. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened to the people answering the phones. We don't know what happened with Facebook. The phone lines are down. Facebook is down. Vanessa's. I started the show saying on such a high. I'm like, we're gonna just knock this out of the park today. And then you know what I knew it was gonna all go downhill. You know what I knew it was all gonna go downhill? When I started the show, and all of a sudden I got attacked by like 10 mosquitoes. And
that was it.
And then I swallowed 2 of them, and I couldn't even talk because the 2 went straight down my throat. And I'm like, what else? And after I swallowed the 2 mosquitoes, I'm shaking my head. I wonder what else could happen today.
You swallowed those bugs so smoothly,
yes.
So flawlessly.
And then I'm like, what could happen next? What could happen next?
Okay.
Well, I'm fine on this end, so I'm gonna continue.
That's amazing. The guy with the coronavirus is doing the best of everybody right now, right?
Right. So amazing.
All right. What else you got?
So Amen 19 also has a follow-up. If I'm in removal, can I still file the I-485 application?
You have to file it with a judge. So I don't know. You got to file it. You definitely have to file an I-130 with USCIS. USCIS has to approve your I-130. You're going to have to file the adjustment with the judge. You got to ask for permission from the judge at the master calendar. You need a lawyer, by the way.
Okay, this next one
your lawyer
comes
should
from
be,
Kadeen
your lawyer
on
should,
Facebook.
I just want to say one thing. Your lawyer should be telling you all this. You need a lawyer. This person needs a lawyer.
Okay, next one
Yes.
comes from Kadeen Adekoya on Facebook. This is, what is the new I-944 form for, the petitioner or the sponsor? Oh, who is the new I-944 form for, the petitioner or the sponsor?
It's for neither. It's for the beneficiary getting the green card, not the petitioner or the sponsor. It's the person getting the green card. That's who it's for.
Okay, Nick Carr Johnson on IG saying, I'm a permanent resident filing for my 10-year-old daughter. What's the fee I'll have to pay when submitting the I-485 form?
Is it just filing for a 10-year-old and not with a mother, right?
That it's just saying for the 10-year-old.
If it's just filing for the 10-year-old without a parent attached to that application, you're paying $1,760. If actually you're paying $1,760 less than $85 for a biometric. If you're filing it with a parent, then it would be $750 plus $535, whatever that adds up to, $1,285 maybe.
Okie doke, team. The next question comes from Lloyd Barnes on YouTube, and they say, I filed an I-130 for my sister in 2018, and the processing date is over 11 years away. Can I request a transfer of petition to another processing center?
No. We mean you petitioned for your sister, you got to wait it out.
Yeah.
All right, Marie Jimenez saying, my daughter got her I-130 approval in the mail from NBC Philippines on May 9th, but when I checked the case status online, it says closed due to no response for 60 days. Can you tell me what happened and what you think I should do next?
It means you got an RFE, you didn't respond to it. So now your case is it closed or terminated?
It says it's closed due to no response for 60 days.
You should be able to reopen it if it was closed. But let me see she should make an appointment to see me so I can see what she's looking at. Because closed is different than denied.
Noted. See, all these gems that people need to know. Someone else would have thought that meant the same thing.
No.
See, friends,
No.
Very
share.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next question comes from Jacob.
I have a question. Are there? I don't know. I don't see them, but I feel like lots of bugs crawling all over me right now. Is there anything on me right now? Like I feel like there's like bugs on me.
I saw them earlier flying around.
But like I feel it now, but I don't see it, and I don't want to freak out, because people are watching, So I got, I don't go, ah! Like that. But I feel very like things are crawling on me.
Yeah, that's a horrible feeling.
Is that a horrible feeling? And
It's the aftermath of the first visit.
I'm trying to just stay very,
You're doing great.
I'm doing good. Actually, it wouldn't a bug crawling on me, just like that. Who cares? But snakes or little rodents.
We should do a Brad Show Live Fear Factor episode.
Yeah, I draw the line at snakes and rodents, but little bugs are okay. You want to do Fear Factor Brad Show Live?
Let's do it.
I lose.
No, I might lose.
I lose.
I'm here for immigration help.
I can't even watch a horror movie without freaking out. All right, let's continue.
Okay, so as I was saying, our next one comes from Jacob Arafat on YouTube. My sister came to the U.S. on a visa and is stuck here due to coronavirus. If my mother, who is a U.S. citizen, initially filed my sister's I-130, am I able to now my sister's status for her? Please let me know what is the best way to adjust her status.
I don't know how old the sister is. If the sister's over 21 and the mother filed, she's on a waiting list for years and years and years, depending on what country she came from. So I need to know a lot more. What the sister should do is make sure she doesn't fall out of status. So if it's a situation where she's going to fall out of status shortly, you could always file an extension based on coronavirus.
Okay, Emma Cherry saying, I petitioned for my husband and he was approved by the National Visa Center in March 2020, but since then I haven't heard anything. Can you tell me what's going on?
He was approved by the National Visa Center?
Petition for the husband and he was approved by the NVC.
The National Benefit Center, maybe?
No, Visa.
Well, there's no such thing as approved by the National Visa Center. You are approved by immigration, then the case gets transferred to the National Visa Center that processes for immigrant visas. It's possible, I don't know if you're a permanent resident, then the case has kind of come to a standstill until next year. But if you're a U.S. citizen, it also may have come to a standstill depending on what country your husband is in, because there's certain countries that are just not open. The U.S. embassies are not open at the moment.
Okay, I have a question here from Berlin Macchiao on YouTube. My husband went for his interview in Cameroon, and they said that they are going to send back all his documents for him to redo. Do you know how long this will take?
What do you mean send his documents back to redo? That's never a good sign. I don't know. How long does it take him to redo documents? Why are they sending it back? What happened? Which documents?
She wasn't particular. She just said all.
I don't know what documents she's referring to. But when documents are returned, that means you were denied. So if you were denied and you got to start over from scratch, you're starting over from scratch. It's going to take a very long time.
Okay,
so
Shabir.
That's what I'm reading between the lines. When you're getting documents returned, your case is denied. Sorry, pal. Start over from scratch. Not here, fill out another form and bring it back to the U.S. Embassy. So before you start refiling new paperwork, because you know what Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. Let's figure out what the problem is. Why was this case denied? And then let's refile again. So to answer your question, how long will it take? I don't have the slightest idea. We got to figure out what went wrong.
Okay, Shabir saying, we received green cards in January 20th, 2020 under EB5 category and then came back to Saudi Arabia to sell our house. We're now stuck here due to the pandemic lockdown. Once flights resume, do you think that we're going to have a problem entering back into the USA?
Hopefully not, but flights, you should be able to come back from Saudi Arabia shortly. You should figure out a way. You have a green card. There should be a way, even if you have to fly to another country and then fly to America. You should be able to figure it out. Like, for example, you should be able to fly, I presume, from Saudi Arabia to Dubai. I know there's planes flying from Dubai to America direct, actually. So you should be able to figure it out as green card holders.
Okay, the next one comes from IceGod876 on YouTube. When you get an adjustment denial, can I take it to a federal judge for another decision?
You can do what's called an APA claim, which is Administrative Procedures Act claim. It's not an appeal, but you can argue that the government did not follow their own rules and regulations.
Okay, DZ Info is saying IR1 is doc completed, waiting for interview. Have 2 U.S. citizen children. Submitted expedite. My wife is sick and need to return. I'm her main support. Waiting decision. Do I need a waiver? Will my expedite be approved?
Why does he need a waiver? Can you repeat that?
Because I guess because they submitted the expedite and the wife is sick. They need to return back because he's the main support. So I guess he's out of the country.
I'm not sure why you need a waiver. You only need a waiver after your green card's denied. So I don't even know what waiver he's talking about. He's asking
so the IR1.
He's asking to expedite a case. It's unlikely that a case will be expedited. Not to say you can't get it done, but it's always an unlikely thing. But certainly try. You're asking me, will it be expedited? I don't have the slightest idea. But I don't know what she's talking about with a waiver. You would need to explain the situation better to me than that. And not you, Yo-Yo, the person asking the question.
Right.
Okay, guys, this next one comes from Presley Elvis on YouTube. I filed my I-360, I-485, and I-7685 February 2020. I got EAD in June, but no receipt notice for I-360 or I-485. Sent letters to Vermont, but no response. What can I do? Is my VAWA approved?
Your VAWA is not approved. He got, which receipt notice did he get?
He received the I-360 and the I-485.
Okay, but you never got a receipt notice for the I-765?
That one he doesn't mention that he received.
All right, well, you should call up immigration and say, hey, what happened to my receipt notice for, that's the first step, is did you receive my application? Is it in process? That would be the first step. We got to figure out if they received the application or not. So call the 1-800 number and find out.
Okay, Berlin saying, what is the I-260 form for?
There's no 260 form. There's an I-360. And an I-360 could be used for a lot of different things. Special immigrant visa forms. It could be used for a SIJ. It could be used for a VAWA case. Those are the two main, but it could also be a religious worker case. So there's a lot of different types of cases you would use an I-360 for.
Okie dokie. The next one comes from Kadeen Whitey on YouTube. My husband filed for my kids. They are in Jamaica in 2018. When I check the status of my kids' documents, it shows that it's sent in another state jurisdiction. What does that mean? I'm not sure if that's enough information for you, Brad.
Read it one more time.
My husband filed for my kids in Jamaica in 2018. When I check the status of my kids' documents, it shows that it's sent in another state jurisdiction. What does that mean?
It means that immigration has 4 service centers: California, Texas, Vermont. You don't get, if your kids are in Jamaica, it doesn't get filed at the local office. It gets to a major service center. So it's in one of 4 service centers. So it means it should be where it's supposed to be. With that, guys, we're going to take a few calls. I think our telephone lines are working now. So let's see if we can take some calls. We're doing everything backwards today. This would have been a great backwards day.
It would have.
I should have worn my shirt backwards.
As long as we get it all done.
Right. Maybe I should I should turn my head and answer the questions, my back. What was that guy who was Senor Wences? You know, talk like that. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
On what?
Yeah, there was like some guy who would like a ventriloquist, but he would talk with his fingers, you know, and he would like.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm
he
talking
would do
about?
it like this.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I said I should turn my back and just like answer the questions like that.
Just talk with your hands.
Just talk with my hands because it's backwards day, you know?
Yeah.
All right, let's try to answer some questions now. Our lines are open. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK. Let's go to AJ in Richmond. AJ.
Hey, Brad, what's up, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Before I ask the question, I'm going to say something, though. Well, I want to say God bless to Dr. Love, and we all want Dr. Love to be healthy again.
Thank you. Dr. Love, do you hear that? Dr. Love is not listening.
Oh, my God.
Dr. Love, AJ is wishing you, Dr. Love. Dr. Love went into hibernation. AJ is wishing Dr. Love a speedy recovery.
Thank you so much.
We all love you.
All right. AJ, what's your question?
Yes, Brad. So I have a 2-part question.
Yeah.
I have a 2-year green card, and I'm actually in the process of filing my I-751 at the end of this year.
Right.
And I'm filing it as a bona fide marriage waiver and abuse waiver. And my question is...
Well, no, you can't. You're filing it as one or the other. You can't do both. You're either filing it as a bona fide marriage. You're filing it as a bona fide... My apologies. I misunderstood you. You're filing it as you're in a bona fide marriage. You actually said it right, and I misunderstood you, so my apologies. You're filing it as a bona fide marriage, and you're an abused spouse. That's perfectly fine. That's filing it one way. My apologies.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah.
Right.
My first part question is, does bankruptcy affect filing I-751 in any way?
No.
When you go for the interview?
No way at all.
Okay. By the way, I don't owe any taxes to the IRS. No assistance from the government at all.
Great.
No criminal record. My second part is, will the bankruptcy be a problem eventually when I go for N400?
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
All right.
Okay. Now, does USAS usually ask about previous marriage when you go for the N400?
Perhaps. They have a right to.
Okay. Now, even though you already proved your marriage when you go,
They always have a right to go back and inquire again.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Brad.
You're very welcome.
And love you all. Love
Thank you
show,
very much.
And I don't know what to say.
Good luck, AJ. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Let's go to Simone in Queens. Simone.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. Don't eat any more bugs.
I'm trying not to.
Okay.
I don't know where these bugs came from. It's so strange. For 3 years we've been doing this show from the studio. Never a bug. All of a sudden I turn the lights on, because we turn the lights on right before I go on. And it's all right on me, so I guess that attracts the bugs. And all of a sudden, as soon as I start talking, like, bugs are flying at me. I'm like, where did these bugs come from? It was so strange. But they're gone now, I think. Anyways, what can I do to help you?
I'm good. Question.
Yes.
If a child over the age, an unmarried child over the age of 21, come to the U.S. on a B1, B2 visa to a U.S. citizen child, they overstayed their time and they're in the process of filing for an adjustment. You filed I-130. How long does it take for you to get a response from?
Well, you wouldn't be filing
immigration?
You wouldn't be filing an adjustment for a child that overstayed who's over 21 years old. You have to file an I-130 first, get the I-130 approved, and then they're on a waiting list for several years. An unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen over the age of 21 is a 5-6 year wait. So you would not be filing an adjustment. And then once their priority date is reached 5-6 years from now, you'll determine whether or not they're eligible to adjust, or they have to do a provisional waiver and go home and come back. But right now, you would not be filing an I-130 and an I-45. You would just be filing an I-130, and that's it.
Okay.
Right.
I understand.
All right.
Okay.
The laws are different if the child is under 21, but over 21, they're completely different laws.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. All right. Let's go to Khalil in Milford, Connecticut. Khalil.
Hello.
Hi, Khalil.
Hello, Brad. How are you doing?
Good.
So I have a question that my wife has to apply for my adjustment of status.
Right.
I'm here on F1 visa. So my wife was unemployed. She was basically a student preparing for higher studies, so she was not working. So I was only working. So my income for 2018 was approximately $16,000 US, and for 2019 it was more than $25,000 US. So I have a question that we can proceed with applying the adjustment of status, or do we need the sponsor?
I would get a co-sponsor. I'd get a co-sponsor because your income was below the poverty level last year, just barely above this year. So I would get a co-sponsor.
No. For this year it is $24,000 US.
Yeah, I said
and
barely. Yeah, because for a family of two, you got to be at least 20. So you're a couple thousand above, and the year before you were 16, you were below. So you're right on the edge. I'd get a second affidavit of support for sure. Especially now with the law saying that your wife has to prove on the 944 that she's not going to become, that she's able and able to work and not going to become a public charge. So even with that additional requirement, I would definitely get a second affidavit of support.
Okay, so if we are not able to get the affidavit of the second co-sponsor.
What is your wife?
But right now,
what does your wife do? Is she going to be working?
Currently, she's a medical doctor. Currently,
she's a medical doctor.
Medical scribe. Right now, she's not working. She's like applying for residency.
Okay, so
program,
then she should be okay then, because she's a professional, so she's fine.
Like she's right now she's working as a medical scribe in a hospital. She just started working a month ago.
She'll be okay because she has a medical degree.
And secondly, I'm also working, and my current income for 2020 is approximately 21,000 US dollar, and she just started working right now. So should we proceed with the application because we don't have any
Your 21,000 is really, really low. But
no, I'm just telling you right from January 2020 to July 2020,
so then your income will be around 40,000 a year. Then you're fine. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So now
you do it out over 12 months. You're going to be fine. Show your current job. Show you're going to earn over 40,000. Your wife will be fine filling out that 944 form because she's a medical doctor. You're going to be absolutely fine.
Okay, and second part of the question is, like, if we apply right now and there is a funding issue going on for loss going on at the USCIS, and what do you have any idea how long it will take due to the furlough, and if we have
to file it? All I can tell you is you can have sleepless nights wondering how long it's going to take. But I can tell you this: every night you wonder how long it's going to take and don't file is another day it's going to take to get a green card. So the quicker you file, the better. It's the best advice I can give.
Okay, so like if due to furlough we have the work is slowed down, and I have to travel back home country. So is there any way?
If you get advanced parole, you get advanced parole. Is there any way to expedite it? We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen on furlough. It hasn't happened. August 3rd hasn't happened yet. File your paperwork. You're asking me to guess. You're asking me to guess what the future will be. I don't know. All I can tell you this future. If you don't file, you're never going to get anything. So file your paperwork, and then if you have an emergency and the only way you're going to expedite your advanced parole on an emergency is, God forbid, somebody dies.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, let's go to Rose in Graham, North Carolina. Rose.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
My question, I'm okay, or trying to be okay. My question was, like, if my husband, he's still paying child support. He actually owes child support. Like, he's paying over, like, $3,000. Will it affect him filing for me and my 16-year-old daughter?
Yes, because he's showing he can't support his own children, let alone an additional child and a wife. So he should take care of that and get it up to date.
So is it that we have to be on hold until he pays that, or there's another way around it?
You can file now so you can get your papers going, as long as you're confident that he'll be up to date at the time of the interview.
Okay, now I understand. Well, I have an appointment with you sometime next week, but I'm just more like nervous about that part. How does that work? And then
all right, we'll figure it out. As long as you're confident that you can get it done before the interview, that's what's most important.
Oh, okay then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Kamani in Seattle, Washington. Kamani.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, I just want to ask two questions.
Yeah.
I want to ask for a friend. She requested for extension, and then she was denied the extension, and now she has been living here without any kind of paper. She doesn't have a work permit.
What kind of extension? Just to extend her tourist visa?
Yeah, because she had come with a visitor's visa. So she wanted to be given extension to stay for just a little bit more. Right. She wanted more time. And then she was denied. So she has been wondering whether she can maybe hire a good lawyer who can help her.
Well, no. Once you've been denied for your extension, you're out of status. There's no good lawyer that's going to get her back in status at this point. She's got to figure out how to get a green card. So what she needs to do is hire somebody to figure out how to get her a green card. That I'm happy to help her with, but she's not going to get back in legal status and overstay.
Okay. Right now she doesn't need an extension. What what she's looking for is somebody who can help her with the green card process.
Well, that you're talking to him, except I don't know anything about her. She needs a consultation. Hold on. All right. So let's go to Jith in Willowbrook, Illinois. Jith.
Yes. Hi, Brad.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. So I have a question. I have my green card since 2015.
Right.
And in 2017, I got arrested. There was 22 grams of marijuana in the glove compartment of my car.
Right.
Me and my cousin, and then my cousin just kept silent, and I had to deal with it, and I got arrested for it. I went to court, and I hired an immigration lawyer, and they amended the charge to a Class A misdemeanor of reckless conduct, cause bodily harm or endanger safety. Class A misdemeanor. I finished and 1 year of supervision, 75 hours of community service. And then I finished everything. I paid the fine.
What were you sentenced to? What were you sentenced to? You didn't sentence to any jail time, just community service.
No. Yeah, 75 hours.
Okay.
And I paid $850.
And you were not convicted of any drug offense.
No, they said reckless conduct on my papers. I have them right in front of me.
Fine. All right. So that either is a crime of moral turpitude or a petty offense, depending on. I would have to look more into the case because this is Illinois, but it's not an aggravated felony. It's not a drug conviction. And what is your question?
They said her plea agreement defended admonished, or I don't know how to say.
What is your question?
Oh, I wanted to. So 2015, I got my green card. 2017, got arrested. 2018, finished. August 2018, I finished the supervision.
Right.
And now I'm due to apply for citizenship.
No, you don't. No, you won't. You need 5 years. No. Are you married to a citizen?
No.
Okay, so then you need 5 years of good moral character. 5 years of good moral character starts when your probation and supervision ended in 2018. So you can't file for citizenship till 2023. Also, we don't know whether you're deportable or not. As I said, I don't know if it's a crime of moral turpitude, a petty offense. We also don't know, when did you enter America?
2015.
That's when you first entered America?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a deportable alien as well because you got convicted of a crime of moral turpitude within your first 5 years of entry into America. So even though it's not an aggravated felony, if you were to apply for citizenship right now, immigration will take a look at you and say, A, you're not eligible for naturalization, your citizenship is denied, B, crime of moral turpitude within your first 5 years of entry into America, you're out of here, pal. You'd be deported in a blink of an eye. So you need better advice than just go for it. Okay, so don't go for it. Hold on, you need a consultation. Let's go to Becky in Lanham, Maryland. Becky.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
Good. God bless you for all you do.
Thank you.
Yes. So, my question: a 19-year-old boy that got his 10-year green card through his father, who is a citizen.
Yes.
When he came in, he lived with the father briefly for like 8 months. Then moved to his mother because they are divorced in another state. So now, can the 19-year-old boy apply for a certificate of citizenship by himself at the age of 19, or he still needs the father to do it for him?
Is the father a citizen?
He's a citizen, yes.
Okay, so when he came, how old is he now? He's 19?
He's 19 now.
And how old was he when he came to America?
17. He got the green card before he clocked 18.
Okay, so as long as he does not need the father for anything, but what he would apply for a certificate of citizenship, he's an automatic citizen, and what he has to do is prove that he was living with his father when he first came to America.
What kind of proof?
Well, is he in touch with the father, or the father doesn't talk to him now?
They're in touch, yeah.
Okay, so the father would show his tax return, which would show him as a dependent on the father's tax returns. Maybe he went to school and the father signed him up for school, and show school records. Those would be the two best things to do.
Also, the school records are maybe the father's tax transcripts for that year.
So I'm sorry?
I said the school records and the father's tax papers for that year.
Correct, and he's an automatic citizen. Because what the law says, if you live with your parent who is a U.S. citizen, you're under the age of 18, and you live in the legal and physical custody of that parent, and you have a green card, you're an automatic citizen. So the fact that the father signed him up for school, the fact that the father had him dependent on his tax returns, that's legal and physical custody right there.
Yeah, so he can't do it without the father. That's the point.
He can do it without the father. He just needs some documents from the father. He needs the father's tax return, but he can go to the school himself. He's filling out the forms himself. Father doesn't sign any papers.
Because I think the father is not cooperative. Well,
that's why I asked. I said, is the father cooperating or not? If not, then
not really.
All right, then you need to get school records, and take it from there.
But the school records will not show the father's involvement. How?
Why would the school records not show that?
So what kind of school records now when you say school records? What in particular?
Wouldn't a school record indicate when somebody goes to school,
the
parent has to sign them up for school and say, they live at my address on 1 Main Street, and the parent has to sign something. And then, so all those records would indicate it. It's public record.
That's cool.
All right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Use that. Use that.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Thank you. I think it's good.
Sorry, one more thing. Quick one. Is financial aid a public charge?
Financial aid is not a public charge.
Unemployment is a public charge?
No, unemployment is not a public charge.
Okay. Therefore, somebody who is preparing for a green card interview, assuming the person is now maybe studying nursing, studying a medical course or something, is it an advantage to show that you are developing yourself?
Well, it would be an advantage if you're going to be graduating soon to show that you're going to have, because you have to fill out this 944 form to show that there's no question that you're going to be able to find a job and you have a career ahead of you and you have a skill or an education. So yes, that would be helpful, assuming they're going to graduate soon.
So that 944 should be filled before the interview.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye.
Let's go to Abu in the Bronx.
Hello.
Hi, Abu.
Hello?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. Hi, Brad. So my question is, I applied for the green card on March 27. I was deported in 2018. I got approval to re-enter the country.
You got approval to re-enter?
Yes, with the visa.
Okay.
And we did everything. Now, since we paid for the visa fee, green card fee, we didn't get it since February 25th.
So you came back with an immigrant visa?
Yes.
Okay. So you came back with a green card. You paid that fee online. You haven't gotten your green card yet?
Yes.
Call the 1-800 number. Start there.
Okay.
All right. And then if you still have a problem, come back to me.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Kiki in Atlanta, Georgia. Kiki.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I'm selling the I-130 online, and there's a place that it asked me where I live now, and I live with my spouse. But it also asked me in another place if we've lived together before. So I'm kind of confused. Should I put where we live now?
Yes.
Where they're asking if we live.
Yes.
Okay, but the date, it doesn't allow me to put when we started living there. I mean, it does allow me to put when we started living there, but it doesn't allow me to put current. It's just...
Because current is present.
Yeah, so do I put the date?
No, so you live with your spouse today, right?
Yes.
Okay. When did you move in with your spouse at this address?
The 1st of July.
So you go July 1st to present?
It's not allowing that. It's just like month, day,
so then July.
and year.
So then July.
Okay. So from July 1st to what?
To whenever today is, July 20th. That's when you started living together and you file in the papers. That's perfectly fine. By the time you get an interview, it's going to be 9 months later. Just make sure you tell the truth. And as long as you can prove you live together and you have a financial relationship, that's the most important thing.
Okay, so from July 1st to the day I'm selling the I-130 online, right?
Yes. I think you probably need a consultation only because I'm not sure if you're fully understanding what I'm saying. And if you screw up the forms, you'll get denied and waste your money and perhaps even get put in deportation. So maybe it pays to have a consultation so we can look at it together so you understand what you're filling out.
Okay.
All right, hold on one second. But yes, July, you would just file July to present. That's when you were living together. Hold on. Let's go to Lisa in North Fork, Virginia. Lisa.
Hey, Uncle Brad. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job, you and your team.
Thank you.
I have a quick question, 2 questions actually. I got my 2-year green card back in 2016 November. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. My husband, we were together, and I got my 10 years, and I submitted for my citizenship. This year is going to be 4 years. They already sent me, back in March when I applied, they sent me the letter to do my fingerprint for April, but it got canceled due to the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, did I put in for my citizenship too early?
No.
Or
you live with your spouse, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, as long as you live with your spouse in a bona fide marriage, you did it right. As long as you did it after the 3-year anniversary.
Okay, another question. My parents are living in Jamaica. My mom is my biological mom, but she lives with my stepdad. They are both married. When I get my citizenship, can I file for both of them?
How old were you when mom married stepdad?
When I was a baby.
The answer is yes, you can file for both. You would file separate I-130s for both.
Okay, even if they're in the U.S.?
If they're in the U.S., you do adjustments for them.
So if they come to the U.S. with not intention to stay, but, anything can happen in this life.
I understand. If they come to visit, and then a few months later they say, I'll stay, and you're a citizen, you can adjust their status, both of them.
Okay, and there won't be no issue.
No
okay.
issue.
All right.
But it
Thank
has
you
to
very
be
much.
90 days after they change their mind.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
Let's go to Sasha in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sasha.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Hi, Sasha. How are you?
I'm all right. Thanks for what you're doing. It's so helpful.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I have a question. I have my niece. I'm a citizen in America now. I've been taking care of my niece since she was born. It's my sister's child. Her dad is dead. My sister is not really involved. I want to adopt her. What's the best way to go about it?
You said your dad passed away?
No, my niece's dad passed away.
Niece's dad passed away, and where's the mother?
She's in Jamaica. It's my sister, but she's not involved.
Okay, where is this girl now?
My niece?
Yes.
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So who does she live with?
She's staying with my friend right now.
Okay, so
but I'm
so basically,
taking care of her, like,
how old is she?
She's 10 right now.
10. Okay. So basically, from what I understand, the father has never been in the picture, and the mother has basically abandoned this child and given her to you to take, and is being watched by your friends right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have to do, and you live in Philadelphia, correct?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you have to do 2 things simultaneously. Number 1, if you go, just know this: if you go to Jamaica and do an adoption in Jamaica, you will never get this child here.
Because I was thinking of doing that.
No, that is a big X. No, don't do that. Okay? Because in order to bring her up, the only way you're going to do it is as an orphan. Okay? So how do you do an orphan case? You have to do 2 things simultaneously. Number 1, go into the local courts in Philadelphia and do what's called the pre-adoption. And basically you're asking a local judge to say, hey, if I bring this child to you, will you do an adoption case for me? And the judge will say yes at the end, but you have to go get a social worker to come to your home and write a case study and submit it to the judge and get fingerprinted, and they got to make sure you have a nice clean home. And while you're doing this whole pre-adoption through this social worker agency who's going to assist you, and we can help you with that, get that all organized for you, you have to go to Jamaica and strip the mother, and if the father's alive, the father, of their parental rights. Because until the mother and father are stripped of their parental rights, the child's not an orphan. Child has a mother and father. So you're going to strip the child of the parental rights, and you're going to say this mother doesn't take care of this child, this father has abandoned the child since it was a baby, I'm the one taking care of this child, hey court, this mother and father, get rid of them, strip them of their parental rights, and then what would happen is this child now is an orphan, has no mother, no father. Now you have an orphan in Jamaica, and you're doing a pre-adoption in Philadelphia and asking a judge, hey, will you do this adoption when I bring this orphan over? The judge signs off on it. Now you start the immigration process, and then you file the adoption petition to bring the child up to America with a green card, and the child comes here, but we're not done yet because you never adopted the child. Then you go back to the courts in Philadelphia, you'd actually do the adoption, and then she becomes a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
All right, but if you go to Jamaica and do an adoption, what's going to happen is the courts in Jamaica, just so you understand the concept, the courts in Jamaica are going to have you find the mother to sign off to okay the adoption. And you'll be like, yes, of course, I'll go get her to sign it. As soon as the mother signs off on the adoption, the child's not an orphan. The child's just adopted. Okay. And now you can't bring the child here. You can only bring orphans here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right.
Okay. So is this a family court that I would go to?
Yes. Yes. But you're not going to go anywhere. We have to get you hooked up with a social worker agency.
Okay.
All right. Hold on one second.
Hold on. Because I had someone who said where I was going to do a home study.
Exactly.
Is that different?
No, that's exactly it. But we got to make sure that they're authorized to do it. Just don't go do it with anybody. All right. And then you have to go down to the courts in Jamaica and strip the mother and father of the parental rights.
Okay, so I would have to do the home study before I go get the pre-adoption certificate?
Yes, you got to do the home study. That's all part of the pre-adoption process. But while you're doing that, strip the parents of the parental rights. Do them both at the same time.
Okay.
All right, hold on one second. All right, Yonathan, Vanessa.
We are here.
You are here. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered, it's all screwy today, you can always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer the best of my ability. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. See the best 2-3 minute tidbits of our show. The better portions where we're technologically correct. Not like today, but I'm sure you'll see parts of today too. Maybe you'll see me swallowing a bug for all I know. I don't know what they're going to put up there on Instagram and Brad Show Live. But if you want to see the repeat of me. So you
actually, like, for real swallowed it?
Yes, and maybe they'll even put a slow-mo of me going.
Yeesh.
But you can do either one. Of course, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and like and follow us on Facebook. And Yonathan and Vanessa, do you have anything you want to promote?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, also TikTok if you'd like, at Yonathan Elias TV.
And you can catch me, Squad, doing my thing on Instagram at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right, so we're going to come back and answer a few more social media questions. We went a little out of order, but we'll do 2 rounds of social media. But in the meantime, in today's Spar Bernstein Attorney Close-Up, personal injury, civil rights, and trial attorney David Moreno tells us about his family's immigration story. Let's watch.
I'm of Puerto Rican, Antillean, and Guyanese descent. My father came here from Puerto Rico when he was a teenager to play baseball. While Puerto Rico is part of the United States, the cultural differences, the language barrier, his story was not unlike most first-generation immigrants immigrating to New York City in the early 80s. My dad, was the first person in his family to go to school here, and I've heard plenty of stories from him about how difficult it was to assimilate to, life in New York City versus coming from what they call a campo, a farm town in Puerto Rico, where they rode horses, they didn't wear shoes, much different life there. My mom is of a multicultural background, West Indian, Guyanese, and Antillean. She was born here in New York, but my grandmother emigrated from the island of Curacao, which is a very, very small country in the South Caribbean, about 10 miles off the coast of Venezuela, part of the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. They're a Dutch country, so as a result, my mom speaks Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, and the national language is Papiamento. My grandma came here with her sister, and in the 1930s, and as a black woman was able to graduate from Columbia School of Nursing and ultimately became the first ever woman of color to be a head nurse at Harlem Hospital. Her immigration story to me is just one of, the American dream. She had 10 siblings, her parents weren't here at the time, and they came over one by one to where they all, eventually made it here and became property owners and went on to raise their families here. Knowing the background of my parents, my grandparents, the sacrifices that, the people before them made for them to be in the positions that they were in, and the sacrifices that they made for me to be in my position, most notably how difficult it was for my grandma, being a woman of color, who had the wit, the brain, and the grades to back it up, to be admitted to medical school, to be told in the 1940s that, she could only be a nurse, which is an amazing profession, but it's a little bit of a letdown when your goal is to be a doctor. Knowing that she wasn't able to reach her full potential, that's always been an underlying motivation for me. One quote that I live by, and it's been hallmarked by Kobe Bryant, is to outwork your potential. And something that my grandma would say, being a Caribbean grandmother, is don't let the sun beat you up, right? And when you think about that quote just in its most basic sense is, wake up early. But what that really tells me is that, you should really be working while everybody else is sleeping. And that's the mentality that she had when she came to this country. And for me, I've always been trying to live up to the example that my grandmother set, my mother, as well as others.
All right, so let's do something we like to call social media check-in. All right, round two, quickly.
Okay, Grace Ann saying, is it possible to submit documents to USCIS via email for my affidavit of support before my case is confirmed?
No.
Okay, the next question comes from Mother of Boys Alexander on Facebook. I filed for citizenship and received my receipt in March 2020. If green card expires in October, do I file another green card or work permit while waiting for my citizenship to process?
You don't have to unless you need proof of lawful residence. You can just let it lapse. You're still a green card holder. You don't necessarily have to pay the filing fee unless you need it for some reason.
Kimberly is saying, what form do I complete if I want to apply for DACA?
Oh, it's a 9 something or other. I got to look online. If you're asking me form numbers, let's see what form numbers we have here. My computer's all screwy. Here we go. You have to go to uscis.gov. It's a 9 something or other, I think. uscis.gov. And then you go to forms. And let's see. Oh my gosh. Everything is so screwy here on my computer. You know what? I'll get back to you because I got to look up the forms and my computer's not working well. But it's a 9 something. Go look on uscis.gov and you scroll down to I-9 something. You'll see. Or 8 something.
Okay, the next one comes from Thomas Joseph on YouTube. Does Trump's new proclamation affect the adjustment of status I filed for my mother 2 months ago?
No, it does not. It's only the proclamation affects people in another country.
But that's saying, my friend has an approved I-130 while in removal proceedings filed the I-485 along with the 601, ended up getting deported and then filed the I-212, still waiting for 2 years now with no response. We file, or I know we need to file an I-824. I went back to the lawyer and he said that we don't need that. That only applies to...
You need a lawyer to follow up. Your waiver's been pending more than 2 years. You need a lawyer to follow up on that. That's what you need.
Okay, this one comes from Isaac Adu Poke on YouTube. Can an I-765 application be filed separately even if my I-130 is pending?
No, you got to file an I-765 with an I-485. yes, you can file it separately as long as you have a pending adjustment.
All right, last one for now. Kimberly McDowell saying, how much does the DACA application cost?
$495. All right. With that said, Dadanai, Kazembe arrived in the United States as a refugee from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2014. I spoke with him and his forever foster mom, Allison McGill, last year about his pursuit of the American dream and the process of becoming a foster parent. Let's watch. Dudane Kazembe is a young refugee from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He came to the United States in 2014. Now, Dudane bounced between foster families until he met his forever family, the McGills, in Washington, D.C. in 2018. Dudane just graduated from high school as a salutarian and will be attending Arizona State University on a full scholarship this fall. Dudane and his foster mom, Allison McGill, are with me today to discuss Dudane's journey to America and the McGill's journey in fostering him, which has culminated in a beautiful, expanded family unit. Dudane, Allison, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Hello, Brad.
How are you, Dudane? Now, you're from the Congo. How old were you when your parents died?
Well, I was just about 3.
And you have no recollection of them, I assume, right?
Not at all.
Unfortunately. Now, there was a war going on there during your childhood. Do you remember where you were, what was going on with the war?
Well, most of it I received from the stories I was told by my grandma, who I grew up with. It was between the government and rebels, usually call them militias. It was very bad. It was like a big violence that was going on, and it still does go on today. Civil homes were attacked by both rebels and the government. And so, like, I was part of the families that were affected with that form of violence.
Tell me about growing up with your grandparents and where you lived in the Congo.
So we lived in a small town. It's called Goma. So I moved with my grandma after my father died, who was the last one to die of the 2. And so I lived with them for about a year and a half before we moved. And when the incident happened, we had to flee to Uganda. Going from Goma to Uganda is not actually a very long journey, but it took us a long time because we had to walk part of the way.
When you made it to Uganda, how old were you at that time?
It was about 5 and a half.
Do you have any recollection of any of the violence that occurred in the Congo that required you to go to Uganda?
Some of the things I can remember from memory, people fighting, but most of, yes, like with my own eyes, I witnessed it. I would ask, what's happening?
Right.
And then everything was told to me after, like, I grew up and I was about 11 and 12, and then everything was kind of narrated to me how it happened.
Right. So you made it to Uganda, and I assume walking on foot, you didn't get there in a few hours. You slept on the roadside. Where would you sleep at night when you walked from one country to another?
We would sleep under shelters, sometimes on the streets. It took us about 3 days, I would say.
Were there a lot of refugees, or were you there kind of by yourself traveling on the road from Congo to Uganda?
There was a lot of them.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
What about brothers and sisters?
So, yeah, I have one brother and one sister. They're both older than me. They came here with me and my uncle, who was the youngest of my grandma.
So when you made it to Uganda, where did you resettle?
We lived in a refugee camp. And then towards the end, before we left, the United Nations was able to pay for housing. So we lived in a little room in Kampala for about 4 years.
Talk about how the conditions were at the refugee camp.
From what I remember, everything was on a schedule. Everything was done by groups. We actually did live in the form of a group home, and we would get planned foods. We would eat at certain points, like pretty much everyone. The healthcare was pretty bad if someone got sick.
Did you go to school?
I went to school for, I would say, about 4 or 5 years before we left, because I started in 2009.
Mm-hmm. And how old were you when you came to America?
13.
Do you remember what was involved in coming to America, how you got chosen to come to America?
So it's actually a surprise, honestly. I never knew it would happen. No one in my family thought it would. It was kind of like a surprise. We were told by the United Nations that we were lucky enough and we would go to the U.S., and I kind of didn't believe it.
And you went into the foster care system here in America?
Yes.
Was it
Yes.
scary coming to America? Were you excited? Do you remember what it was like coming on the plane?
It was nothing like I've ever experienced before. I had not been on a plane before then. That ride coming here is actually what kind of made me to decide what I wanted to do in the future, which is being a pilot, because I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Right. Now, Allison, obviously Diodane is with you now. What made you decide to take a refugee, and what inspired you to open up your home? You have a family, husband, your own children. What inspired you to say, I would like to take a refugee in?
It was 2016, and we just had Jack, who's turning 5 on Thursday, and he loved home. He kept talking about home. It was his favorite word. And it kind of haunted my husband and I, because we had room in our home and our hearts for another child. So my husband did the research and found Lutheran Social Services in the capital area. We contacted them, got in their program, and became certified and licensed to foster refugees.
What was involved in getting certified?
It is certification to foster domestically or for domestic children or refugee children. And so we did a lot on trauma, because any child, whether it's domestic or refugee, has experienced trauma if they're in a foster home.
Give me an example of some of the things they taught you.
How to de-escalate situations, what to look for. Our biggest thing with him is making him have fun, because he studies too much.
Sure. What were you expecting, and how did the expectations and reality differ, or you're like, wow, this is perfect?
We knew we would get a teenager, because that is what normally is the age range that's in the refugee system through Lutheran. So we had known the age, and we had, of course, hoped for a family member, but honestly, if we could just provide a safe place for that young person to lay their head, if that's all that we did, then that would be enough too.
Now, you have to feed him, clothe him, you have to be his mother. Do you get any financial assistance for this, or this is just all out of your own pocket?
There is a stipend that is typical with fostering that we do get.
And does that cover all the expenses?
No.
Not at all, right? Not at all. Children are very expensive. What was it like the day before Diodane arrived? What did you tell your children to expect?
Well, Gavin was 4 months old, and Jack was 3, and we kept practicing his name because I was worried about saying it wrong. Jack had known he was going to get an older brother or sister, so he was prepared for this.
Were you nervous to bring in a teenager who could have been emotionally damaged, to introduce them to basically babies in your home, a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old?
We did know that there was a risk, and we did express that to Lutheran, knowing we have young kids.
Right.
And so they are an excellent organization and want to find the right fit. They knew Dio would be an excellent fit, and so they put us together.
We call you Dio? I can call you Dio too?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
sorry,
Thank you.
Call him Dio.
Okay, so Dio, you came when you were 13. How old are you now?
18.
You're 18. So you were in the United States for 5 years, and you got put into the McGill's house. How old were you?
16.
All right, so you were here 3 years, and I guess for lack of a better term, you bounced around from foster care home to foster care home until you had finally found your forever family. Tell me what it was like bouncing around from home to home to home.
They were different, as you know, people are different in general.
Right.
I lived in 3 homes before coming here, and the first one was a veteran, so he was a pretty strict guy. His point of views and like everything he did, the way he handled situations was different.
Then you went to another family, your second family. How was that?
This was my first year of high school, and the main problem there was that she lived a little far from where I went to school. I've moved to different areas, but I've been in the same
high school. Right. And then you were with this lady, but she was a far distance for how long?
They were all just about 11 to 12 months.
Right.
It all happened between school years, and that's why it was like 11 to 12 months.
Right. And then the third family is the McGills. Fourth family. Now, none of those people that you lived with, you never felt any sort of like parent-child bond. It was just more, they're giving you a place to live and they're feeding you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was like.
Right. But now I understand with the McGills, Joe, at least to you, Dio, is not Joe or Mr. McGill. You're calling him Dad. How did that happen? Did it happen naturally? Did it happen over time?
I would say it was a mixture of both. It came naturally and then kind of had to develop over time. It just felt differently of how we connected. He treated me like his own son from day one. So subconsciously, I started treating him like a father to me.
Can you give me an example or two of things that he has done to treat you like a son?
We've done a lot of things together. I remember one time we fixed the couch together. He taught me a lot of stuff that I would need to know as a teenager. He's taught me how to cook. So he's taught me a lot of things.
Very nice. Now, Allison, Dio came from very traumatic childhood, and I'm talking to him, and he seems centered and grounded and calm. Is he really like this?
He's like this every day. We do keep an eye on, like I said, his studying and his achievements because we want to make sure he's having fun. That's an important part of life, but that's mainly all we deal with.
Now, you're graduated high school. You're the salutarian. Tell me what that is.
Second in class.
The second out of how many kids?
Around 130.
So 130 kids. When you came here, did you speak English?
A little bit.
A little bit. So English was not your first language. You come here as a 13-year-old, you learn English, and not only do you learn English, but you excel, and you are the number 2 in your class. How do you explain this? How do you explain excelling over everybody else when they had such a head start on you?
Well, one thing I usually say is I just don't let my background pick my future. So what I usually say is that just tackle your dreams with perseverance and with determination as well. I mean, everyone has dreams, and the only way to get there is through working hard. I try doing that.
And you're now going to Arizona State University, is that correct?
Yes.
On a full scholarship. Talk about what you had to do to get a full scholarship. There's lots of people out there that would love to know how to navigate the scholarship game.
Most of it happened before getting to the senior year. I would say keeping your head in the game, researching, because I already had half of the scholarships I applied for. Note it down before I even started my senior year.
You speak with your family, your brothers who came, your uncle?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, where are they?
My older brother goes to the University of Rochester.
And your uncle, where is he?
He's in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona.
And do you speak to any of your other family?
Yes, they're all out there in Arizona.
And they're all happy, adjusted? What are they doing out there in Arizona?
Well, my older sister is doing a nursing program. My uncle, unfortunately, has a disability with his hands, so he can't really work.
And I guess when you go out to Arizona, you'll be reunited with them, which will be very nice. Do you ever think about what it would be like if you didn't come to America?
Yeah, I actually do ask myself that question a lot more frequently.
Right.
Especially when I got all the scholarships, and then I just also remember the kids who stayed back home, how they came here, what life would be like for them. So sometimes I just feel like it's a little more than what I deserve, or more, a lot more, really.
Well, you had a terrible situation, and lots of people had horrible things happen to them around you, but God picked you to be here. And, you'll make a great life for yourself. You became number 2 in your high school. You're going to college on a full ride. In life, there is luck, but also sometimes you make your own luck. So you did both. So that's pretty amazing. Allison, how does somebody find out if they're interested in finding somebody like Dio to take in as a refugee?
We love Lutheran Social Services. Love them. Office, if that's not available in your city, the Office of Refugee Resettlement would also be a place to start.
Right. And finally, Dio, this is a show about achieving your American dream. You've only been in the United States for 5 years. Tell me what the American dream means to you, and tell me what those dreams are for you in the future.
Generally, the American dream to me is just being in a very peaceful environment. And with that also comes union. And I think I've had that for the last 5 years. I've experienced that. On a personal level, one of my dreams is being a pilot, and the other one is to be an author, write as many books as I can. I have set out my goal for 30 different books, and I only have one right now. So I have so much work to do.
Only one.
I have one last question for you before I let you leave. It's really a question about politics. Tell me what you think about the politics of America today, and if you were able to sit down with Donald Trump even for 60 seconds, what would you tell him?
I would say put yourself in someone else's shoes. No one was born who they are at the moment. I wasn't born the way I am. I wasn't born a salutatorian or an author. I mean, I was a miserable kid. So you can't ever measure what a kid would ever do in their lifetime. It really all depends on the person, what you give them, and what they produce out of what you give them.
Yeah. I think that's really well said. Dio, I don't think you're going to be an airplane pilot. I think you're going to own the whole airline. You're such a wonderful, well-spoken, well-adjusted. I mean, I'm just sitting here saying to myself, I can't believe this kid lived through what he lived and he's able to be so eloquent in a language he didn't grow up in and be so grounded. It's amazing. We want more of you, Dio. More. Trust me, we do. All right, thank you for coming on, and best of luck, and congratulations on all your scholarships, and we wish you all the best of luck. And Allison, what a wonderful thing you did. And I wish there was more of you out there as well.
Well, I gained another son out of it.
Yes, thank you both for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
me. Thank you. All right, it's speed round time. I am going to answer 9 questions in 50 seconds. So that's almost about 5 seconds, a little more than 5 in a split second per question. That's a lot to do in 50 seconds. We're going to do 9. Everybody knows the rules. We need complete silence, no interruptions, no distractions. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa got to be on their game. Uncle Brad's got to be on his game. We need to be a team to get this done right.
Yes.
Without blowing me up and the bugs.
We got this,
Don't blow me and the bug. You know what happens when you blow me and the bugs up? You know who survives?
Who?
The bugs. Exactly. All right, you ready?
All right.
Go.
Why is USCIS taking so long to process applications in 2020?
Donald Trump.
Will the Trump administration start accepting DACA applications now?
Yes, the court ruled on it.
What is the I-944 form?
It's a form filled out by the beneficiary to prove that they are not going to become a public charge.
Who's affected by Trump's U.S. immigration ban?
People not living in America.
Will there be a second stimulus check?
Yes.
Under the Trump administration, what constitutes as a public charge?
Everything. Any government assistance.
Are international students in the U.S. right now on student visa safe?
Yes.
What is Trump's public charge rule?
I'm just going to blow up. You're asking me a question that'll take 5 minutes to answer. What's his public charge rule? It's about 20 pages long. Why would somebody ask me that in a speed round? And why is our numbers person? It's like one of those days. And why is our numbers person like up in the sky? And who's picking these questions to add? It's an encyclopedia. What is Trump's public charge rule? And you seriously want me to answer that in 4.5 seconds?
Challenge accepted?
No, I'm not going to accept that challenge. That's ridiculous.
We need yes or no questions. Then.
That's just ridiculous that somebody would even throw that in. Who's picking these questions? Trump's public charge rule is an additional rule. There's 120. You got it first. It's a 2-step rule. Let me now answer it for 10 minutes. Okay. First, it's a 2-step rule. The first part of it is that you have to show that that the petitioner can support the beneficiary 125% above the poverty level. That's how it's always been. You have to give 3 years tax returns, a job letter, and a bank letter. Then, on top of it, you have to show that the beneficiary is an able-bodied worker. An able-bodied worker means that they're going to be able to be employed when they come to America. They have skills. They have an education that would prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they are not going to become a public charge, despite the fact that your petitioner has already able to prove that they can support you 125% above the poverty level. So on this Form 944, there's a lot of positives and negatives. Some of the negatives would be that your petitioner makes less than $64,000 a year for a family of 4, that they've collected government assistance. That would be a double negative. Some of the positives are that you have a college education and certain skills, that you're going to have medical insurance, that you have a job lined up. I can go on and on, but it's literally a 10-minute question. I've now answered it for over the 50 seconds that were even allotted for me to answer 9 questions. What is the other last one? I'm so annoyed that somebody would throw that in there. You know you're going to, that's like somebody who wants to kill Uncle Brad. As soon as that question is asked, that means Uncle Brad's dead man. We know that.
Right. So has USCIS stopped printing green cards?
Has what?
Has USCIS stopped?
No, they're still printing green cards.
Huh?
They're still printing green cards.
How do I correct the mistake on my green card? Would have been the best one to replace.
You need to fill out a new Form I-90.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
Ding, ding,
from
ding,
now
ding, ding.
on, let's give some instructions for speed round. Yes or no questions is something I can answer in 1 or 2 sentences. Noted. Okay. Comments of the day.
Yeah. Comments of the day. Spot of the day.
All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day comes from Tali saying, Uncle Brad, the bugs are stealing the show today.
They are. They stole everything. Every segment, we started great and went right down the tubes. Yes.
And earlier you missed it, Yo-Yo. Tali had said that no one's sliding into apartment A or J, wherever you are right now.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No, they're right. Nobody wants anywhere near apartment A, at least for another 14 days.
Right.
At minimum. Elizabeth Jo saying, Fear Factor Bradshaw.
What'd she say?
Fear Factor Bradshaw.
Oh, yes, for eating the bugs, right.
I used to love
All right,
that.
y'all. The third comment of the day comes from Jessica Amy saying, Hope Groundhog Sam had nothing to do with the lines being all effed up.
I think Groundhog Sam had something to do with it. We may have to throw Groundhog Sam on the show tomorrow and see.
Okay, friends, and the last comment of the day comes from Clifford Gordon, and he says, shout out to all those who got their green cards recently, wishing y'all the best for the future.
That's very nice, Clifford. Thank you very much. And by the way, just a programming note, we are not going to be here live tomorrow. We got to fix all our technical difficulties, but we will be back for Hump Day on Wednesday. We will see you all then. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. doing?